Yo, yo. What up? What up? Yo. What up? What up? Hey. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Benny's crib. What up? Yeah, just leave your shoes over there. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. Does that sound cool? Yo, what up? Welcome to Benny's crib. We are here. Well, I am here in Portland, Maine. Teal Child is here in Portland, Maine in spirit. His vibrations are bouncing throughout the streets. He is off site in a remote location in the state of New Hampshire. We're not going to tell you where he is, but right now we're both at Benny's crib. It's a beautiful time to be alive always, and it's a beautiful day for an interview. For those who don't know, actually, quick pause. The weather report for today looks pretty shitty out. I'm not gonna lie, kind of rainy, kind of gray. I'll take it. Any day above soil is better than beneath it, but it was weird. And then it was like snowing and sleeting on the way home. So be safe. April crazy with the weather. And we're here with Teal Child, a decorated producer, keyboardist. You play synth too, right?
Yes.
You're pretty much multi-talent or a multifaceted musician. I think really well known in the Portland area for like production, keys, and other really just, sound bending elements of music, and an OG out here. You've been name dropped mad times on the podcast, not only by Bright Boy. There's somebody else, maybe Gibbs Freelance, who shouted you out last episode or 2 episodes or whatever episodes ago. And all extended introductions aside, it's a pleasure to have you here, Teal Child. How you doing, my friend?
I'm well, man. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Tremendous. As I said, Teal Child, you've been doing it for a minute out here. Like how long did you live in Portland for?
Pretty much my whole life up until like about a year ago.
Sweet. And how young are you now? Like, what's your age?
I am 29 years young.
Hell yeah. I'm turning 27 years young very soon. Shout out life, shout out youth, shout out health, and shout out taking care of yourself. The first question I asked everybody, even I wouldn't really specifically call you a hip hop musician, even though I bet you could probably make some fire hip hop beats if you needed to. And I know you can hang out with the hip hop crowds, no doubt. Sure. But it's the question I ask everybody to kind of start the story. What's your first memory of hip hop?
I mean, I guess honestly, dude, like that's a pretty good question. One of my first real memories of hip hop was like actually hanging out with my uncle, and him showed me Gucci Time by Schoolie D.
Whoa, and, that's early shit. That's like
he showed me Gucci Time and Food by Doom. Okay. And Liquid Swords by Jizza
and RZA.
Those are the first like 3 like real heavy hitters for hip hop that I got into. If you really wanted to go back, like commercial shit that was always on the radio, it's kind of interesting. Like, I always loved. I think it was like Get Jiggy With It and all the like Miami and all those fucking Will Smiths that sample like Patrice Rushen and
Men in Black.
The Men in Black theme
Forget Me Nots. Patrice Rushen. So good.
What is the Get Jiggy With It? Is like I think it's a
Cool in the Gang
song.
Oh, maybe Chic. Yeah, I thought Cool in the Gang, but I think you're right. I think it's Chic. I'm thinking of a different song.
It's He's the Greatest Dancer by Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge. Man.
Which is produced by Nile Rodgers and Bernard from Chic.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff like really hit with me when I was a kid. And then like, that's like pop hip hop, but like later on I would like come to get really into sophisticated funk and kind of realized like that seed had been planted like very early on. Like I've always been kind of drawn to that.
Yeah, you are a very funky artist. That's I resonate with. There's so much funk, especially in Alter G's music, and we'll get more on Alter G later for the people at home who are excited for that. But that's wicked though, man. Schoolie D. I never heard anybody drop him on the podcast. PSK, what does it mean, dude? Come on, that's fucking important hip hop. If y'all want to hear one of the first, maybe the first gangster rap record ever, I ain't gonna front. I'm not gonna front. PSK, what does it mean by Schoolie D? I think PSK was a abbreviation for a gang, maybe as well. So that's why it's like a pretty gangster rap song. This is for the people at home. I think Teal Child, you might already know this, but regardless, that's a really cool one. And then Food. And then Liquid Source. I was just playing Shadowboxing yesterday. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, man. Maybe my favorite Method Man verse. That beat. All right, you get me off topic. Also, RZA, the loop on Shadowboxing. That's a crazy loop. And I was thinking back, like loops are so big right now in the hip hop world and the production world. RZA had some fire loops like 25, 30 years ago, man.
Yeah, all of those like the first wave of like Wu-Tang solo albums are just friggin' god tier.
The pre-flood. Do you know about the RZA flood?
Nah. Oh, yeah. I think I vaguely know. Like he lost a bunch of
everything,
like, floppy disks and shit.
Yeah, in '96, he had pretty much all of his beats and just stuff for the upcoming other solo Wu-Tang albums ready to go, and his basement flooded and they lost everything. Everything. Can you? I don't even want to think about that. I want to see when Teal by Method Man came out, because someone said there was beats for that on there, but I feel like that already had come out by '96. Yeah, it came out in '94. What the fuck are people talking about? Maybe I had the year wrong, but regardless, I can't even imagine the sadness in that. I want to make a time travel movie where hip hop heads try and create a time machine, not to do anything but go back and keep that from happening. It'd be
I'd
good.
Watch that. Yeah,
hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, you got some good names you brought up. It really gets me stimulated here to talk. It could be the cannabis, who knows? But let's bring it back to Teal Child though, in your early life. We already mentioned it, but you're from Portland, and you've grown up or you pretty much grew up in Portland your whole life.
Born and raised, man. I was born on Main Med. Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Deering and Portland.
Nice.
Yeah, I switched over for my senior year.
Portland is right behind the town hall, right? Or city hall. That always like seems like a wild area to go to high school. Like it's a pretty poppin' area. Like Cumberland's pretty busy, man. Like for a street. What was it like? Like the culture of like the school.
Portland was cool. Yeah, I wish I had gone there from the jump. During school too, I had some good teachers at Deering that I really valued having. More later on in life, the things they're trying to teach me. Just as far as like life lessons go.
Yeah, street smarts.
But yeah, the Portland high school is like, I think it's the second oldest high school in the country. So it's like, just got like really dope architecture, like wicked tall ceilings and like weird like columns and shit. Just like kind of like, my senior year, dude, all I did was like hang out in the art room with a couple of my friends and like just get high and shit.
That's wild. You kind of blew my mind when you said that oldest building thing, but at the same time it kind of does make sense because a lot of colonized American life started on the East Coast, so everything kind of moved this way. Oh shit, yeah. That still blows my mind. Appreciate the little history lesson too. I went to Old Orchard, much different culture than like going to school like right on downtown Portland on Cumberland Ave. So
yeah, it was pretty sweet to like that senior year, man. Like, cause I really liked going downtown and like hanging out with dudes at the record store and shit. But like, that senior year was like clutch. Just get out and walk a couple blocks up the street and do what I actually cared about.
And you actually met a Portland person at Strange Maine in Bright Boy, I believe, right?
Yeah, me and the boy, we kind of, I think we met more like on more downtown. Like it might have been, there was kind of like this like weird kind of it is definitely all record store shit. Like there was Bull Moose,
R.I.P.
Jake, aka the Roach Dad. He worked at Bull Moose for he actually hadn't
I
worked
didn't
at
know
Bull
that.
Moose for he worked at Bull Moose like notoriously for like, you know, years, and then like he stopped working there. But after that, like everybody would just continue. He was always Jake from Bull Moose. It's like, dude, I worked there 7 years ago. But it was like Bull Moose, Strange Maine, and then like everywhere in between was kind of like where I met Saeed, you know, like we probably first like Strange Maine for me was kind of like that was the spot because I started going to these record stores when I was like 12, 13 years old. And
Yeah, it's your town.
yeah, Saeed was a little older. Strange Maine was kind of like a good buffer for me to like talk to older heads without it being like, you know, a friggin' little kid talking to
Yeah,
adults,
you don't want to be
without
like
it being weird. We're there
behind a
for
bus stop or something.
yeah, we're there for the same thing to
Music.
find the grails. Um,
Digging.
um, yeah, Saeed was like, I always like Saeed was always really, really ill with the drawing and shit. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely something that like we bonded on. And yeah, I
Oh, freezing a little bit.
park and like hang out Exchange Street down there in the old port.
Oh, you cut out a
There's
little bit.
cafe called Breaking. Oh, am I cutting out?
No, you're back. I'll fill in the gap. You said you guys kind of hang out in different spots. Some spots on
Yes.
Exchange Street, and there was a cafe.
Yeah, Breaking New Grounds. Yeah, that was where like all the like kind of like more like teenagers would hang out.
What time period is this for Portland?
This is like I'm talking like 2005 through like 2010. It was like
a very different time, even though it's not that far away,
right.
in the past.
Yeah, I think I really started kind of like I think I might have met Saeed a little later, so like probably 2006, 2007, like
Yep.
when I was first starting high school. Yeah,
Tremendous.
good times, a lot of memories.
Yeah, you've already pretty much touched upon some of it. Excuse me, but I wanted to hear about your hobbies and your interests, maybe as a teenager, and when you're starting to get more independent and have kind of more like free time that's in your control. Was it a lot of record stores and music based stuff, hanging out around town, or you can talk on that. What did you do?
That's pretty much it, dude. Like like life was pretty much for me. It was just about like following, like just trying to find that feeling, that funky feeling. Going to record stores, partying. Some of the party like got a little I got a little wild there for a minute for sure. But like, it was really like at the end of the day, it was really just all about like the music and just trying to grow spiritually, mentally, physically. Like just
Holy
man.
Trinity. The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, dude. Music definitely was like a constant, like no matter where else like life kind of took me, like music was always like the driving force. Soon as I like, it actually like got to be kind of problematic, like when I was like more inclined to just work on music all day than like get a job or like an apartment or something. Like I didn't like move out of my parents' house till I was like 23 or something.
Hey, it'd be like that. Did you have any like post high school education?
I did actually. When I was like 25, I wanted to attempt to I pursued a degree, an associate's degree in electrical engineering, and I did not succeed.
That's a tough major, bro.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. That's not like writing. I was a creative writer.
Right. Yeah, no, like I went for 2 years, and it was kind of other stuff got in the way, and it was just the rate. honestly, here's what I tell myself, and like I still kind of think it sounds reasonable, is like the rate at which I was able to like attend school and complete credits while working and like trying to do music. It was gonna take me like 6 years to complete a 2-year program. So it
A
was
lot
just
of
like
bread.
I literally dropped out of school to make round 3 with Alter G. Like I was just like, it
Whoa.
was I had enough energy and time to either do school or do this like passion project with the homies, and
Yeah.
I chose music,
I'm glad you
honestly.
dropped out. I love that album.
Well,
Oh man.
glad it paid off.
Yeah, I think it did, yo. I mean, maybe I'm the wrong
No,
person to
dude.
ask, but I don't know.
Nah, man. I mean, I also got to a point like just sitting there where I was just like, man, I don't wanna like work in a clean room and like
Yeah.
put on a friggin' hazmat suit before I go like solder fucking silicone wafers and shit for fucking, you know, forced overtime for 20 fucking years before I retire. Like, you know, it's just
Yeah.
like the career path that was cut out for that like kind of program was not one that I like really thought I would enjoy.
Mm.
I had a buddy, like one of my childhood like closest friends, still like one of my best friends to this day. His name's Sam Anderson, and you know he's like wicked bright, and he did complete that program in 2 years, and he did get a job, you know, working in like a, you know, a semiconductor fabrication plant or something.
Yeah.
And he quit that to do like to, you know, focus on music stuff. But he's also like a sick musician too.
That's cool.
Like, but now he's the difference is like he is so like he's wicked smart.
Mhm.
And he's super driven, and that stuff like sparks like major joy and creativity for him,
Mm.
to the point where like dude, he can like pretty much fix just about anything. He makes his own modular synths and like guitar pedals and shit.
Damn.
Like dude, he's sick.
Mad analog
um
shit.
yeah, he's real nasty with the circuitry stuff.
I love that.
Um, so like that was my inspiration for trying to do school, but then I kind of realized like, you know, like I'm not actually as passionate about this as my homie. So like I'll just stick to what I do best, and that's make the music itself.
Mm. I like that. That's a great segue, yo, because I wanted to ask, was music around maybe in your household growing up, or maybe were you in a band, a psych rock group as a teen playing guitar and singing perhaps?
Yes, I was. And yes, it was. My uncle, his name's Milan McAlevey. He was like, you know, a big influence on me musically as like a young teen, and,
Mm.
or even earlier, honestly. I mean, I took piano lessons when I was like 7 or 8, and like tried to learn how to play like the Star Wars theme and like one Beethoven song, and like I think I printed off the sheet music for like all the songs from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and
That's
tried to learn how to play some of
pretty
those.
badass.
And then I kind of like dropped piano. But when I was like 12 years old, you know, I was hanging out with my uncle a bit and got really like, you know, inspired to pick up electric guitar. And yeah, I mean, the rest kind of history. I started playing music with my buddy Sam, who I mentioned before, and our friend Zach Higgins. We're just like the neighborhood kids, dude, you know.
Yeah.
We just started jamming in Sam's dad's basement. Sam's dad was a musician. He's like a really good songwriter and guitar player and multi-instrumentalist in his own right, but he was definitely like also like he would always go out to play like bar gigs on harmonica. He was like really
Ooh,
nasty on the
that's tough to
harp.
do. You gotta like be actually like talented
He's
to fucking
he had the
do a whole
touch.
bar gig with a harmonica.
Yeah, no, like I mean, yeah, playing harmonica with like the blues band or like singer songwriters and shit. But like he was no joke. Like when it came to the harmonica, Joe Bloom was his stage name. Um, yeah, man, those were like two major musical influences for me as like a teenager, Joe Bloom and Mylon McLeavy. And then also Brendan Evans, the owner of Strange Man.
No
Started
shit.
going to his record store when I was like 12. And we ended up actually like starting to jam and stuff. That was my first shows that I ever played with the group, which was called Modern Syndrome. Like our first gigs were we played at Sam's elementary school talent show at Bromscott Elementary, and we played shows at Strange Band back when they used to push the record bins out of the way and like cram like 20 people into that tiny room. Like
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah.
What made you want to switch from that to the keyboard?
Dude, well, I mean, honestly, what happened, I look at it differently as time goes on. I mean, it was really like, switching back in a way because I
because you
had
got
that
lessons.
history with the keyboard or the piano before. And like even during Modern Syndrome, like I would pick up a keyboard.
Oh, frozen again.
Like over to like some kind of board onto a Modern Syndrome song.
Yeah, you froze out just a tiny bit again, but I think you said you would actually incorporate some keys within your Modern Syndrome playing as well. You said,
yeah,
hell yeah.
But like when I started to get like really like dig into synth, Sam's mom lived on like a farm up in like Albany Township, Maine, and their neighbors had found like this friggin' stupid rare Italian analog synth in like the loft of their fucking barn.
Is a township, by the way, like so small you can't even call it a town?
Yeah, there's like fucking there's like 30 people.
It just sounds like a village to me.
It was a sweet property. She had like pigs and stuff, like go fishing in this pond.
Chicken coop.
Yeah. Yep. Aside from that, anyways, his neighbors had found this like really dope analog string machine in their fucking loft in their barn, and they gave it to Sam. And like, so Sam just like all of a sudden, like we didn't have money, dude, like, like all the guitars and shit like we had were kind of like hand-me-downs from like weird uncles, or like, and I'm not even talking about my uncle, I'm talking about like my dad's like friend from the bar or something, like gave me a Telecaster one time. And then like, Sam's dad had like a bunch of gear in his basement for his musical stuff, and he was gracious enough to let us use it. But then all of a sudden we just like had this really dope analog synth, and so I just started using it. And then one Christmas, I think it was like a Christmas after I'd gone through like a really bad breakup when I was like 17. I was like wrecked. I was just freaking, I had my heart ripped up.
That's rough, man.
It was rough, but I survived. Puberty is a hell of a drug.
Tremendously tough, man.
But my dad felt really bad for me, so he gave me like a $800 Martin, acoustic Martin that he had for Christmas.
And for those who don't know at home, what is a Martin?
It's just an acoustic guitar.
But
Yeah, it's just like
it's
a really
fucking it's a
nice,
good
like,
one.
mahogany wooden, like, might have been handmade. Like, it's a nice guitar. It's like, it's a really nice guitar.
Yeah.
He gave me that, and I think it was like maybe a year or two later, I really just like, Sam was playing my guitar more than I was, and I was playing his barn synth more than he was.
Yeah.
So then we traded, and like that's kind of like, that was like it, dude. Like that synth was pretty much like the signature sound of Alter G for like a long time. It's like it's all over pretty much everything we did from like
Whoa.
2011
The breakup
to
synth is?
no,
Or the Italian one?
the Italian synth. Yeah.
So wait, you're telling me the fucking celestial like supernova synths on these amazing Alta G records, that comes from an Italian synth that was found up in a township in part of my French West Bumfuck, Maine?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty cool story. I'm not gonna front how all the dots connect, because you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
I got in that Guitar Center. It's like, no, like this mother, or what's that cool spot on, or like that pretty official spot on St. John, that music store?
Buck Dancers, dude.
Yeah, Buck Dancers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the spot. That's
Yeah.
the spot.
I heard the motherfucker. I've never been in there, but I heard from a couple different people who are like pretty good with just their knowledge of music and buying guitars and more actual gear and things like that. They say the dude who runs that's a pretty knowledgeable, but he runs a tight ship over there. He doesn't,
Yeah.
he takes it seriously.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other fucking.
I don't even want to get into that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we can't even go there.
Shout out that
honorable mention, Buck Dancers.
Yeah. I love it, man. Damn.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was like, I honestly, bro, I never really connected those dots like that before. So thanks for helping me.
What we do here at Benny's Crib.
Yeah.
I want to talk about you adding production, because you're a producer as well, correct?
Yeah.
When did you start to want to incorporate elements of producing with the keys?
I mean, like, production, dude, like, honestly, I think the production shit started before I even really like got into music, or like before I even really knew how to play well.
What do you mean by that? Break that down.
Dude, like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, like like I would just straight up make CD covers and like album covers for records for bands that didn't fucking exist, like I would just
fan
make
fiction.
Like I would make my own friggin' like my own fan fiction CDs and shit. And
I love that.
Once I had the means, like I was always really, really intrigued and like interested in the recording process, and like, just like one thing that I really like dug and like picked up from my uncle is like to listen like as deep as possible. Like you can always kind of listen deeper and hear like a new subtle nuance in a recording. I kind of like fell in love with just different qualities, different recording styles, just all across the board. So I got really into, I was too broke for like computers and stuff back, and they weren't even as good as they are now. Like home recordings, digital software was not really as like good or as accessible to me as it is now. So there'd always be some stupid 4-track like cassette recorder or something laying around. Brendan Evans from Strange Man sold me my first 4-track for like $40 when I was like 13 or 14. That's probably when like production, like, as there's two different schools of thought when it comes to production, right? Like there's like you're a hip hop producer or you're like a producer, right? Like you like friggin' David Axelrod and like Quincy Jones and shit. Like,
David Axel, Songs of
those,
Innocence.
yeah, like David Axelrod was a huge, you know, like inspiration for me production wise. In the early days when I was still doing like rock stuff and like garage rock stuff, kind of branching more into like jazz and funk and soul. Like I have rock roots, you know, but I'm still like, I'm pretty funky. I can get jazzy, not in the sense that like I'm a schooled jazz musician, but more in like the, you know, more from like a improv, like kind of free association type of jazz. But yeah, like I was always really fascinated by like different textures of sound and always trying to like kind of emulate records that I really liked through, yeah, just different methods of recording, like different techniques. And yeah, just like reading about and researching like as much as I could in just in that general realm of like sound production.
Hell yeah. You
And
got pretty into it. I mean, how old are you when you're doing this shit?
this was like, I mean, I think I would say it really got serious like,
Or how young are you, I should say.
like I think I was kind of like learning from, I mean, I'm still learning. I'll always be learning.
Always.
There's always more to learn. But I mean, this is like, yeah, this is really like age like 14 through like, you know, 22, 23 that I think it was really like kind of like trying to just like pick a lane and like find where I was comfortable. Now that I've kind of like, you know, done this and done that and like recorded on like a number of different like home recording devices and, you know, played a handful of shows and like engaged in different aspects of like live sound. I think I kind of like know where I'm comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I want to almost talk about then you getting it from the student. I don't like that. We're always in the student's phase. You from the beginning stage, getting into that more comfortable, you're finding your niche, or just what feels more natural to you. I say like finding confidence as an artist kind of is a good way to view it. Because you dropped the first Alter G album on Halloween 2017, correct?
No.
Oh, came out before that.
That is the first Alter G album.
Oh, I should say Rise from Your Grave came out on.
That's the second. That's the second Alter G album.
Wait, there's
and Rise from Your Grave came out in 2012.
What? Damn, bro.
Or 2013. It was recorded in 2012.
It says online 2017, but that must be like when it was uploaded. And
that was when, dude. Nah, that was when it was like kind of like re-released on Sneer Records. Alter G.
Wait, you guys made that in 2012?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna fucking front. That's impressive, bro. You guys are ahead of the curve in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That's like some Chan shit, man. There's not many motherfuckers out here who can like make that shit sound like that time period. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember Chan, like when Chan first fucking came through, dude. That was, you know, I don't think the date is actually on this record. I don't have the insert, but
you have any more of those, by the way, I could cop?
I do, yeah. I got some more.
I gotta get some more. I need to get all right. So I got so many questions. First, brief side story. What was like, what do you, because I'm a huge goddamn Chan fan. Shout out the new baby. Congrats, Chan and fam.
Yeah, Chan, Tasha.
Yeah, I don't
know. I mean, bro, I'm such a shitty human. I don't even know their baby's name.
That's a good point. I don't know the baby name either. I just know they had a baby. I never met Tasha, but she seems wicked dope because her and Double Dessert or what? XOXO Gossip Squirrel. Is that what is that their duo?
Is that them?
I could be tripping. I think so though. But anyways, amazingly talented musicians still. We got to backtrack though, because you're another producer. You're right around Chan's age, I think. So what was it like seeing him come out in the scene too?
Dude, I mean that was cool. Yeah, like Chan's birthday is actually the day after mine, but I think I'm a
Whoa.
year. Am I a year younger, or a year older?
I think
I
I think I'm actually I don't know. I'm gonna say that.
I don't
I have no
fucking
clue.
know. But yeah, like Chan when he first came through, like rap night and stuff. That was like that was one of my like that almost was my answer for like the first time you experience hip hop, but like I really had to go back to, but like
Rap night.
those rap nights, dude, went at the Big Easy,
I'm so
like
pissed I never
when
got
the
to see
Big
that.
Easy was on Market Street,
Yeah.
um, like
At the
that.
top, right?
Hmm?
At the top of Market Street, right?
Yeah, like I don't even know what's there anymore. It was like kind of in this
Fucking
weird, like
fly.
not really a basement, but it was like kind of you would walk in and there was like a ramp that went down and the stage was like right in front of the door when you walked in. It was kind of like lowered.
That's dope. And
Yeah, that was where I first kind of saw Chan.
hell yeah.
And then I mean we kicked it. Like there's actually a fucking super rare unreleased Alter G goddamn Chan collab called Wody Mammoth.
Oh, yo, you could be saying that. You gotta give the people something now, man. Come on. At least I'll give you my email, bro. I don't gotta leave shit.
If I can find that Wody Mammoth, I'll send it to you.
Just
Yeah.
oh my god, dude.
That
Just
shit's
off the
ridiculous.
name, bro. But my point was the reason why I brought up Chan is Chan to me, his shit booms so heavily. Like there's a lot of people making dope beats out here in the 207, don't get me wrong. But Chan, I think the way his shit hits is a lot harder than most. There's not many people that put in like the same sea of like thump.
Yeah,
Alter
his shit
G has that.
slaps, dude.
I was gonna say Alter G, in my opinion, your fucking 808s, your funk, like you guys bring some heavy shit to the table on top of amazing keys and synth work that's now came from a goddamn farm in Idaho, Maine. But the reason I just brought that up is because I'm blown away that you guys made that in 2012. Like, I got to hear about this now because here's my impression of it. Like in my research, I thought that Rise from Your Grave came out, then you dropped what is it? Dreamland EP? Is that one of your EPs?
Yeah, that's my like a solo joint.
Yeah, because then I saw that was your solo one, and then after that, round three came out, and then of course last year, in 2020, or at least I think it came out last year. Now I don't know what I'm talking about here, but you obviously had the Mr. Rainbow tape.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so like I didn't realize that because to me it looked like you had maybe been like crafting, plotting, and then in a pretty sequential time period like started to drop more consistently. But you guys dropped a first Alter G record before um your second one that dropped in actually 2012. So I'm kind of blown away in here, man.
Yeah. Well,
Catch
the
me
other
up to speed.
ones, it was all before it was like all before this like digital streaming platform era, you know? So it was like me and Jake started off as like just kind of like a production duo.
That's Roach Dad for those don't remember.
Roach Dad. We started off doing stuff back in 2011. I think I was like 19. I had just gotten that cool barn synth, and like we just started like we were hanging out and like smoking weed, and we started cranking out these songs. We were kind of brought together by like the record stores, and our mutual friend goes by the name of Notion.
You're a dope producer too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, he's really
Yeah.
good. One of my favorites. He So like these are all rap night dudes. Like we would hang out the Big Easy open mic night. Shoop was there, Ill by Instinct.
Chupacabra.
Like, yeah, Chupacabra. Lots of heads there. I mean, like Mike B, Adam B. who's like maybe the most slept on.
Adam B. I never heard.
He's really he's like he's one of my favorite people of all time.
MC or beat maker?
Beat maker.
Tremendous. Jay Karen probably was there, I imagine, too.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, he was there. Chan showed up.
32
Saeed
French
was there. Saeed's brother Noah was there. Vader, Nucci Vader.
Mozart, was Mozart there? Mozart 212?
Dude, Mozart was not there.
Really?
No, Mozart was not around yet, I don't think.
Interesting.
I think he's living somewhere else still.
Yeah.
This is like back in 2010, 2011. Like, so
Word.
I don't think that
forget. I have a great interview with him too, and I forget his timeline. I know French must have been there. 32 French must have been around.
Yeah, he had been hanging around somewhere on the cut for sure.
Yeah. Well, I love just hearing about all the names that were rocking it, because I have a lot of interviews with people like that. So it's cool to kind of see all like the weaves or the webs get weaved together.
It was a crazy cool community we have.
Yeah. Well, keep talking about how you and Roach started.
Yeah.
Like, when did the first one come out?
2011. It was a tape. I think he made maybe like our buddy Matt. He had like kind of independent tape and like psych record label called L'Animo Triste, which I think is like French for like field recordings or something. Or no, L'Animo Triste is French for like sad beast, but it was L'Animo Triste field recordings is the actual full name of the label, I think. He put out this tape because like our shit was so weird too at the same time that it was still kind of like, it was still almost like considered like this like kind of like outsider art or something. Like, you know, like
counterculture maybe.
Yeah, like it was just like it was definitely like picked up on in like a whole other scene that was completely removed from like the hip hop scene in Portland.
Yeah,
like the psych rock scene. Because I was like really influenced by a lot of like psychedelic like music, like electronic music, like German stuff, you know, like Italian stuff. And yeah, we did that, and the record, like the tape sold out, and so he was amped on it. So he like, you know, commissioned us to do a follow-up, and he was going to put it on vinyl, and he did, and that's Rise From Your Grave.
That's early. Like vinyl wasn't even that popping at that. Like this is pre-vinyl revival, probably.
Right. Yeah. It was like right at the like, I mean, in certain circles, you know, like vinyl never died, but like
100%.
This is definitely like this is pre like friggin' vinyl at Urban Outfitters, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I worked at Bull Moose from 2018 to like, I don't remember, maybe it was 2017, bro. I think fall 2017 to like spring 2019. I worked at Bull Moose, and we sold so much motherfucking vinyl. It was nuts. And there was so much like repressings of 90s bands that people like in their 40s were getting like the, you know, fucking Fish 4 LP for like $60. Right. It's like, damn, like motherfuckers be spending bread. So I got a big question. Is the first Alter G on cassette only, or is that project somewhere online?
It might be somewhere online.
I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm a pretty good searcher.
It's called European Cheese. You might be able to find it somewhere on the internet.
Yo,
are you finding it?
This is blowing my mind. Guess how much it is on eBay right now for one of these in mint condition?
Oh, how much?
141
bucks. Nice.
It's got like almost like a Sega Vision Quest looking thing.
Yeah, like that's where the name comes from.
L'Animo Triste.
The name Alter G kind of comes from the video game for Sega Genesis, Altered Beast.
Oh, I've never heard that. So G obviously meaning like the.
like G funk, you know,
Oh, I
like
was thinking like G
war.
Force,
I mean, sure,
G
yeah,
Funk. Yeah,
G
you
Force, Spoonie G,
Schoolie D,
Warren G, Schoolie D. Um,
Orange,
yeah, man, it was just kind of like a.
Daddy Yankee. Wait, I'm kind of pissed now, and I can see that. Elegant G, I've got some. Let's do it. Second skin. I want to lay you down and fill you up. I'd
Oh
rather
my god,
explode. That
bro,
was
those names of those songs back then were so
Beatles,
ridiculous.
Manchester's $500,000 crack party.
Yes.
That's a god, dude. That's what like hip hop. Some hip hop songs sound have titles like that now, dude. Where I want this. So shout out Discogs. Discogs has it all figured out, man. I'm jealous. Holy shit. I gotta
Nice.
find one of these, man. And then you have Rise from Your Grave, which comes out actually in 2013 in the winter.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we recorded it in 2012 and released it the following year.
What about uh what's it fucking called? Roach Poachers? Was that something you guys did?
Roach Poachers was um, that same guy, Matt Lajoie, and our friend Jacob Baddick. They had like a very short-lived collab label called Born Ghosted, and they put out three. They might have put out more than this, but they put out like three tapes.
Yeah,
Um,
Afraid, Pink Life, Jared Fairfield, Night Wind.
yeah, fuck yeah. Jared Fairfield's my boy. We worked together at the Portland Pie Company in like
Which one?
2015.
The one on
The one in
York?
Portland. Yeah, York Street,
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah.
Yo. That one's got what's the pepper what's the pie that has like the big pepperonis on it and the
The
big
Cape
chunk?
Nedic.
That one's fucking good. That one's so good, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you not like Portland pie? I don't eat it that much, but you worked there, so
I mean, you might not eat there ever again if you know the things I know about that place.
well, that's like I'm not. See, that's the thing. There's got to be most places that have like more than a couple locations, like an Amato's or
Yeah.
Portland Pie. I know motherfuckers that worked there in the past. There's got to be some shady shit that happened.
Yo, yeah, no, like, dude, that location, unless they underwent like some serious like renovation and reform.
Well,
like,
when did you work there? What years? Now you got me tripping.
2015. I don't think I even worked there for a full year because it was just like such a drag.
I got some nachos there once, and they were
Suspect.
I don't want to talk about it, bro. It was like it was like I can't even. They weren't good nachos, bro. They were cooked through. Don't get me wrong, but there was like no chips. It gets me. It get like I think about the excitement I have, and then I think about the money I spent, and then I think about like the end product. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Regardless, Portland Pie. I might drive by it now. I don't know if I'll. I don't know if I'm gonna run up in there and get a Cape Nedic.
Right.
Let's talk to you more about music and less about all the sporadic things I'm getting crazy about. So at this time, in 2013, you now have two Alter G projects out. You and Roach Dad find some pretty cool crossover from like the electronic kind of beat scene into the more psychedelic, maybe rock and other genres. What kind of moved on from there? Because I didn't even know about that shit. Like again, in my research, I didn't find that was a re-release. So
yeah, I mean, dude, from like 2013 to like I don't know 2013 to like really just 2019 when we put out round 3. Like we're just straight up under like just off the radar. Like we were doing shows and stuff and making like, dude, we have like fucking probably like 7 unreleased records that are just they're never going to be finished because you know we just come up with the concepts and record the music but never like take the time to like mix and master it properly. And now that the time's gone by, like the original like vision for that music or the mixes is pretty much gone. Like we do, like the only way any of those records would ever come out would be kind of like a poor quality like bootleg of like some mixed down tapes.
I had an idea of like, I was thinking like Altered Rhyme Beat presents or Benny P presents Altered G, the bootleg sessions.
Right.
I'll comb through it for you. I'll say these are the ones I really like the best. I want you guys to get the final stamp of approval. If I forget any ones you really want to put in, you know, make a fucking world tour. We hit Japan, Kyoto. We'll hit Philippines. We'll hit maybe down in like New Zealand, hit back to Guam, get back in the States, and then say, now we going to Canada, and then we'll end it Midwest, have final show, homecoming, at Strange Main, if they're still open. And
Strange Main's still open. They're not doing shows anymore, but
we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back for the Alter G bootleg sessions tour featuring Benny P.
Honestly, it reminds me of the another like kind of like silly tour that I did once with Notion, called the Whatever's Clever tour.
Ooh.
Where we would just roll up to parties with a giant amplifier and like 8-track tape machines and like start fucking dubbing shit out. Like it was kind of like a weird like poor man's like guerrilla dub sound system that we would just fucking roll up and start like being like really annoying at people's already existing parties.
Yeah, already playing music. It's like let us take over. We
just
got this.
Out of control. Yeah, no, we were pretty outrageous back then.
I love it. Well, we'll take a pause on the Alter G because you guys had a little, you know, you were developing some things, and then you had, I think Bright Boy got added to the vocals on the third project, correct? He wasn't on the other two?
Yeah, so here's the thing. It was like, you know, like when I started making Alter G music, like Saeed was kind of always in mind. Like it was just kind of like a, you know, poor planning that he didn't really end up on any of the previous releases. And you know, me and Jake had enough like momentum going with the instrumental stuff where, you know, we just did it like that for a while. But we would do these like kind of like, you know, impromptu like unrehearsed shows, or just like decided to just grab the mic, you know. And that was kind of just like, that was always kind of the culture that all this stuff was kind of built around, was like hip hop open mic, dude, like ciphering outside, playing beats off of like a boom box while people ciphered outside of the rap show, you know. So like Saeed was always like really, really sick with it on the vocals. And yeah, like I always had him in mind when I started making like,
love that,
you know, funk tracks and R&B tracks.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into round 3 in a couple of minutes here, but I want to talk about some solo stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. What was your first official solo project as Teal Child? What was it, the Dreamland tape, or was it previous to that?
That's the first official one. Yeah. Before that, I like.
Oh, you cut out again, homie.
Like I would just post shit on SoundCloud.
Okay. You cut out again.
Before that official release, I would just like kind of post. Third time's the charm.
Wait, hold up. Cool. No, it's like a weird thing. It's like a 5-second delay. But I think I got what you said. I think you said you hadn't previously posted a full project, but you were making music solo and you had some stuff on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I put stuff on SoundCloud. That's like how I met Turquoise Crown.
Hey, Turquoise Crown is a good friend of mine. He was on the podcast, been on it twice actually, because I did a resample Residence episode like early on. And yo, Crown, I think Crown is one of the best beat makers, producers in the whole state. Like he's so dirty, man. So dirty.
That's my dog.
So dirty.
That's my fucking dog.
Yeah,
we have a like it's we only made like 2 songs, but our side project's called TC Squared because I'm Teal Child and he's Turquoise Crown. TC.
What about Turquoise Child's Teal Crown?
Sure.
That's kind of a lot to say. We got some crazy.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
TC Squared sounds a little bit cooler. I'm not gonna lie. But man, we
Yeah,
got some crazy beat makers in this day. I love the that you just dropped his name because
had to.
go listen to the Crown episode if you haven't. There's a fly pissing me off. I'm gonna start swinging at it. Um, all right, well, let's talk about Dreamland. I mean, the first time I heard that, I was pretty enamored. I'm not gonna front.
Okay.
Especially Love Prayer. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Featuring.
this? Like, is this like a brain feeder like offshoot label? Um, like how haven't I heard this before? It's kind of how I thought. I'm like, because I'm big into
Yeah.
a lot of different genres, non like that are besides hip hop. And I was like just the pacing of like the da 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 almost has like tropical percussion in a way, but it's like not overly like thrown at you. And then just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the beautiful siren wails of Saeed just
Yeah.
coasting at the end, man. That song,
Yeah.
like I was like, hey, this is poor. Like that was one of the first songs that really made my mind realize, like, you know what? There's a whole motherfucking culture out here that I just don't know. I might be a little tapped in on like the top level. I might know like what big names are, but for a lot of
Mhm.
years, I kind of was like, yeah, there's nothing in Maine. Like I live in Old Orchard Beach. Like I know everything about Maine music. No, you don't, bro. Like you go up north 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 if you know how to speed in the third lane, and you in Portland. And there's a lot of beautiful shit out here. Like even if people don't live in Portland, just coming into Portland on a Friday night, Saturday night, getting a drink here, getting some food here, smoking an L in this alleyway. Then you pop into this independent venue and you could hear a Teal Child and a Bright Boy. So when I heard that song, I was like, holy shit, like this is something I get stoned to and just like walk around in the woods and get like completely lost to. I could send this to my buddy and be like, yo, smoke to this. This is somebody that is going to be maybe like on like the next, like I said, like brain feeder, like compilation or something. And they might fucking believe it just because a lot of people don't understand like I guess the diversity of sounds, myself included. Like there's a lot of shit out there. Sometimes if you've heard like a couple of good surface level electronic musicians, you'd be like, oh wow, like this is kind of what like good electronic music sounds like. But then obviously
Right.
it expands infinitely from there. But whatever the sound of that song was for the first time it hit me, I was like, wow, this is like really good electronic music. Like this seems like, again, national, not understanding that you can have major league sounding shit right in the backyard. So that's my little spiel on that song. That's me kind of giving you your flowers in a sense, because I was like, fuck,
Hey
like
man, I appreciate that
that shit
a
really, I
lot.
was like, damn, like I'm probably actually gonna like put that on tonight after this, because that song like fucking gets me somehow. So um I like that tape a lot. And I just
Thank you.
want to kind of get like your opinion on solo stuff. Like, do you enjoy solo music? Because we have an amazing project you dropped last year called Mr. Rainbow, another great tape. Just kind of talk on your process as a solo artist and kind of what it means to you to drop just this Teal Child.
Um, I mean, yeah, dude, like that's a good question. I think honestly, like that's kind of like, you know, what it's kind of like what works for Alter G, like is that we are all just like solo artists and we
Mm.
kind of just come together and like it's kind of like to us it's like, you know, a no-name supergroup, you know, like um for me like making solo stuff is just kind of like it's in a way, you know, it's necessary, like it's a way for me to like kind of musically decompress, um and kind of make music a little more like just like, I mean it's whatever I want, you know, like
Oh yeah.
nobody else is going to really like, you know, nobody else has any input on it. And sometimes like, you know, that's what um you know, that's what I think makes, you know, like other projects so different. Like on those Alter G records, it's like I'm playing the synth, but like Jake's right there, like, you know, reacting to everything I play, and whatever ends up on the recording for those Alter G records, it's usually something that like Jake started like hooting and hollering about, you know, being
I
like,
love that.
yo,
I gotta talk to him too to complete the Alter G trilogy. And I used to
yeah,
work at Boom Moose, like I said, so that'd be cool just to hear his Boom Moose horror stories as well.
nice. He's definitely got some. Um, But yeah, just to keep it on the topic, yeah, like making solo stuff is like that's the kind of like double-edged sword about it is like I'm my own boss. So like
100%.
there's like no one else there to like motivate me to do it. Or sometimes like, that group motivation that's there with other things, like group collaboration, group motivation.
I think it's easier for me.
That is in some ways it is easier. Right now it's kind of like weird because we all live in different places. I'm in New Hampshire, Saeed's in Massachusetts, Jake's still holding down Portland. It's part of our like New England takeover.
Yeah, you got the trilogy. You guys are all good to go, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like the solo stuff is just kind of like honestly, like I'd always be in a group. I love collaborating with other people, but in order to kind of like, it's like, having like, leisure time when you're not on the job is kind of like, I would use anytime I start getting to like throughout the process of making like round 3, like a really intense, like passion project that we did, like I'd get too close to it, I could back away by going to make like a solo track.
Yeah, and still kind of like keep your skills and your muscle memory intact, but
right,
you're not exhausting sound into something that you may want to keep it more fresh and like, in the moment, I guess. So that makes sense. Hell yeah. Well, for the people at home, like I said, I'm a huge Alter G fan. Go somebody find the first tape for me online, please. I've been looking for it, actually, like, wow.
I don't even have a copy. Like, yeah, I don't even have a copy of that. I think Jake might have a copy.
Yeah, I gotta hit up Roach Dad because I'm finna cop European G's and a Roach Poachers tape, and then I'm gonna cop one of them Rise From Your Grave vinyls from you because you got extras, you said, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll get the Holy Grail round 3 eventually someday. But
the most rare.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like, I'm not even just saying this shit. Like, there's a reason why I sit in my fucking apartment and interview main artists every week because I actually like love this scene, and I just think people fucking sleep on how diverse the music is out here, man. And like, I could literally play you like a Kenya Hall song into a goddamn Chan just hip hop thumper of a beat, maybe a collab with like Of the Trees or something, and then I could go into a like rhythmic funk on the block summer barbecue anthem by Teal Child, Roastad, and Bright Boy, aka Alter G, and then I could swerve and have the homie 1 Pound do some crazy noise. Could have
he's gross.
Ben's Been Dead do some beautiful acoustic music, have Angelica pour her heart out, have Shane Rise or Laz or Sana just starts. I mean, there's just so much music out here, yo. So again, I love Alter G, so that's my little rant about how much I love them. And then second, for those at home who want to hear Teal Child solo stuff, check out Mr. Rainbow and Dreamland. Those are 2 really good solo projects, and I would recommend those as well.
Appreciate that, man.
Let's talk about round 3. And I'm glad I didn't ask this question. I was going to be like, it's pretty funny how you guys named your second project round 3. It's almost like a joke. And then you'd have been like, what do you mean? It actually was our third project. Actually, it's your 4th project. So it is kind of a joke, isn't it?
Yeah. Round 3. It's the 3rd full length.
Yeah. LP.
Yeah. It's the 3rd long playing record.
Talk about Saeed getting involved in those sessions though. And like, just what was it like? His vocals feel like an eagle, like soaring across the fucking like sky when I hear it on that shit.
Majestic.
It's just like rising. I'm like, whoa.
Dude, he's really talented, man.
Yeah. What was it like? Like what were those sessions like for round 3, man?
Dude, okay. So I mean, Saeed's like, it really is just like a kind of like enigmatic, like mythical creature, it was, I will say this, like that dude's hard to fucking track down when he's either like in the right mood, right like frame of mind, and like the right like actually in physical proximity to fucking record vocals. Like he's down to like play you his new beats and like fucking watch anime and like get to like we would
Hit to casa.
Get to casa. He's down like to kick it with the homies like all day, and so am I. But like it was tough. It was like making that record was like there was a little bit of a grind to it, which made me all the more gracious that like he did actually take the time and like effort to like lay down those takes, because yeah, it's still to this day like I'm so glad that record exists, just because dude, I mean the reason why we make music is because we want to fucking listen to something that doesn't exist.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so like making that record with him was like, honestly, dude, it's like one of the best times of my life.
Say that again real quick, just one more time.
Making that record with Saeed, Kato King, Round 3 by Alter G is one of the best times in my life.
I didn't mean that, but I'm really glad you said that, because that was a beautiful, tender moment. I meant the music. We listen to music because we want to hear it.
Bro, yeah, that's what it's all about, man.
Did you make that up? Did you make that quote up?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel. That's how we all feel, man.
What was the full quote again? That's crazy. You kind of just like
we're just making records that we want to listen to that don't exist.
Yeah, but wow, like still, it kind of fucks my head up. Like,
I mean, they exist.
You're creating a future. Like your love of music that you have in the past is influencing so much creative energy in your present that you want to make shit that you can listen to in the future.
Yeah, dude,
it's like, nuts, bro. Like, what the fuck?
That's where you.
That's a superpower. That's God. That's literally
music is a superpower.
That's
like I'm not trying to like gas up or like get big headed about it.
Gas them up, Jack.
But like, nah, like any musician is a fucking sorcerer, dude. Like anybody that any creative, dude. Like. Accessing like mental faculties through intuition and projection, and like that, like all creatives have to kind of like go to this like go to the future for it, like push it out. It's oh
man, you're blowing my brain. It could be the huge volume, but still, like that really resonates with me heavily in a lot of parts of my being, especially as like a music listener and someone who uses their love of listening to music to pretty much dictate a lot of their survival. Like I play music when I wake up, when I'm heading to work, when I'm at work, when I'm working out, when I'm home. Like right now, this is the only time I'm probably not playing music all day, except for my moments of peace and solace in which I got to compose myself here and there, But
I mean,
holy
like,
shit.
Dude, music, I need music, and I think, you'll probably relate, is like, I think it was like Count Bass D, dude, I quote him, he says, I need music like I need water, air, and food, it just it's there, it has to be there, like I need it to live. That resonated with me when I first heard him say that.
Yeah. Well, shout out music, shout out Bright Boy, shout out the third project, or the third full-length project from Alter G, Round 3. That's available pretty much anywhere online. I'm telling you, summer's coming. I think the quote, Bright Boy, I could be wrong, but we be mobbing out, or is it what's
I don't think,
is it showing out? What's the first line? I can never tell. It's we be something out. You know what he says? In
fucking
Biggest Summer, it's like we be, I think, cruising in the drop top. Or am I completely butchering it?
You might be, bro. What is it? Now I can't fucking remember what he said.
I was like, we be
fire hydrants pop, dude.
That's what he says?
That's what he's saying, yeah. Saying fire hydrants pop, cruising in the drop top.
Okay, I had that line right.
Ladies wearing shots.
I'm gonna shoot my shot.
I'm about to shoot my shot.
Okay, so I thought it was we be mobbing out, cruising in the
cool.
drop top.
It's true.
Ladies mobbing out, or no, ladies popping out. I'm about to shoot my shot, or something like that. That's what I thought it was. So I had I had 3. I like the fire hydrant though. That's more. That's summer on the block.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's trying to paint a picture.
All right. So whatever I just got corrected saying, I'm talking beautiful blacktop, car rolling by, water hitting the fives, then hitting the pavement, people running, ladies looking beautiful, people shooting their shots, people shooting hoops, barbecuing, vegan barbecuing. We got every food group accepted here. That energy, that's when you put on Alter G, when you feel that summer vibe and you put on that album. So go listen to it. I'm giving you like 10 different Alter G commercials in this interview, man. So.
Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about the 207 scene. I know you've been at, or I believe you've been at Resample before, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Yeah. So just through your times growing up here, through just hearing tonight about your adventures in crate digging and just finding different people and networking through, you know, the music fan side of kind of the culture here, and then becoming an artist and being, you know, at shows and pulling up with Notion, I believe you said, and taking over like sound systems at parties, and then Resample. I have a lot. I mean, Resample. I literally have an episode about them, and I could talk about them for 50 more episodes. But just if you have any reflections on the 207 scene before we maybe move on to some rapid fire questions that you just want to share tonight, because you've definitely been in a lot of different places and parts of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what was the question?
Pretty much just any reflections that you have on the 207 scene, just because you've been in a lot of different parts and, you know, you've spent a lot of years out here.
Dude, all I'm gonna say is it's fucking over once this pandemic's fucking done.
Oh,
honestly.
What you mean by that?
Dude, like shit was like getting to be like, it really felt like it was going somewhere. And then, you know, one thing led to another. It's kind of like, I think Resample lost its, you know, its home. It wasn't really quite, it was not that the people became disjointed, but like just the show itself, like couldn't take place because they lost the venue due to like a change of like ownership with the venue or something.
Yeah. Although I think they still were doing shows at the end of last year, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they
or end of 2019, because I know like this one of the sound people left, and I think there might have been a change in ownership, so they didn't want to do as much hip hop shows. But I think Resample might have been grandfathered in.
No, yeah, they were kind of grandfathered in, but like
it's not the same. It wasn't
the same.
It wasn't the same vibe that it was.
I'm gonna say what they can. I'm gonna say one the same.
I like that, man.
I'm just gonna.
You out here?
Sorry to David and Ben and Gary.
Well, I think
if they disagree,
I think that the energy
that's their show, like, you know. But
I think the energy of the show felt the same, but more like the energy of the venue felt different. Like to me, like there was a lot more hip hop shows that were allowed there, and once that kind of stuff happened,
I mean, yeah, it was weird times, man. Like honestly, like, you know, I had a lot of personal stuff going on that led to me not being able to be as involved.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it was kind of like, for me, it wasn't the same. I'll have to say that because honestly, I can't speak to their subjective experience.
And you're a performer too, so you have a different side of it for sure as well.
Yeah. But nah, like, dude, as far as the Resample crew goes, like, those are my dudes. I really like those guys.
Oh yeah, and they always put on an amazing show. I mean, Fiverr has the best visuals I think I've still seen out here, man. Like when it comes to like how much effort he puts in and just the dedication to what he puts in. And
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
really cares about what he's doing.
and the lineups
Sure.
too, like the lineups only got better as the year went on, regardless of like the building changes. Like E1, man, dude, like fucking Daedalus, like crazy shit to me.
Yeah,
man.
no, like that first year was fucking legendary.
Yeah,
that was mad fun. And yeah, I hope that like, you know, once shit starts to open back up, like we'll all be able to get up on that stage together again.
yeah, and even just like the whole set of stages all across the city too. Like I even feel like just like the whole scene in general, it's hurting obviously because of what's happening. Like you said, like once shit pops off again and we can actually like link up and be close and see shows, like it's over. Like there's gonna be it's gonna be so much creative energy and love in the fucking room. It's and I think gratitude and appreciation. Like I'm getting like just like emotional thinking about what it's gonna be to be like at a show, like staring at someone on stage and be like, oh, like we're back. Like I can do this again. Like that's hopefully closer than it is farther, if that makes sense. But
yeah, no, I mean, dude, if there's one thing that like I've been able to kind of determine as like the fucking it factor for like success and like positivity and like good fucking vibes is gratitude. And the amount of gratitude that is going to be present in like everyone's social interactions once we get through this shit together, it's gonna be fucking just like unprecedented. Like this pandemic was so fucking unprecedented.
Yeah.
The levels of gratitude in our social interactions from here on out are going to also be equally as unprecedented.
There we go. I
hope so. Anyways, you
that's
know,
the mentality.
Learn to really fucking appreciate like each other and our communities, and like realize that like we had so much more than we thought we had, you know, before it was all kind of like hit the pause button.
1000%. 1000%, man. Yeah, much you couldn't like.
But we got this because like we're gonna be all right. Like,
stay grateful. Stay focused on the goal, yos.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I share the same sentiment. Well, I think if you're ready, I kind of want to wind down a little bit, and before I do hit the final kind of set of questions that I usually ask, I got some rapid fire questions I could throw your way as well.
Okay. All right.
You want to do this?
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Who's a major inspiration?
Prince.
Favorite Americanized Chinese food appetizer?
Crab rangoon.
This is amazing. You know, you had that good Prince reaction because I asked this question now. Prince or MJ? Yeah, I'm a huge Prince fan too. I love Prince. I play a lot of Prince at work.
Nice, dude.
Prince has got a lot of hits because you could play, you know, almost like the upbeat pop funk of like the late 70s Prince, you know, like I Want to Be Your Lover. Yeah. But then there's like the grand like pop punk where it's like a Sign of the Times or Diamonds and Pearls. And then you have Purple Rain, which is maybe like a top 10 album of all time. So there's so much good Prince, man. I fucking love Prince's music. And then you have a Little Red Corvette if you want to get like dirty with it. All right, man. I'm getting too off topic. Who in Alter G is the best cook?
Me.
All right. Bonus.
Jake's question. Really good too. Saeed can make you something.
He can whip something up. Yeah. If you had to make a dish, this would be like an added bonus question. If you had to make any dish in the kitchen to showcase your skill set, what dish is it?
Damn, son.
Dim sum?
Oh, damn, son. I don't know. Probably, I mean, like, I'm real good with pizza. I'm good with, I really like to make, like, you know, kind of like udon noodle beef or something, like beef soup, noodle soups, like, but really, dude, honestly, if I was trying to like win your heart, with something I made in the kitchen, I would make you my tuna rice.
Tuna rice.
Yeah, bro.
Like tuna out the can, or like
Yeah, but like we might spring for like a $6, $5 can of tuna. It might be really nice, you know. But
6
trust me,
can.
dude, I got really good at making like struggle gourmet.
You need the right spices and shit. Tremendous. Well, next one. Who is a producer whose beats you love?
Madlib.
Tremendous. Go-to Portland food spot.
My go-to Portland food spot.
There's
dude, right now, dude, like, I mean, back in the, like, old, like, I really love pad thai. It's my favorite, like, food. Kind of like, honestly, dude, like, my go-to right now is probably, dude, that Bon Appetit place is pretty fucking fire.
That's some of the best sandwiches I ever had.
Dude, those are
some of the best sandwiches I ever had.
And they got the right price. After I endorse it, they're gonna fucking up their prices. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Give them the business. Give them the business.
No, but like, dude, they're really good. Cheap. Like, those are some good banh mi.
Tremendous banh mi. And a banh mi already is like good. Like, you could honestly like make a banh mi at home in a pinch, and it'd be great just because of how good the ingredients are and like the way the sauce hits everything. They have the best. Like, the bread's killer.
Bread is fire. That's the thing that like sets theirs apart from like.
I want a banh mi so bad right now. Yo, Bon Appetit. Send us a couple of bonds. Not a bonds.
Look it up. Yeah.
You know, they're called banh mi's. It just sounds weird calling them bonds. I don't like that phrase, yo. All right, I gotta pull up the fucking next question. Third favorite animal.
Panda.
What's your second and first?
Second and first, honestly, dude, it's tough, man. I don't know why Panda came up.
Yeah, because I was like, you had such conviction and speed with that.
I mean, dude, like I just like
predetermined ranking.
Dude, honestly, like my number one favorite animal is probably, like, for a long time it was the emerald tree boa. And then, you know, I really this is not an animal, but I used to love spiders when I was a kid.
Yo, this boa is a motherfucking beast. Give me goosebumps.
Dude, they're actually not that big.
They're scary looking with
the. They got like the crazy like yellow mouth or whatever.
Yeah, man.
But they're cool.
Why?
I got to see one in person at like a museum once, and I don't know if you call it an animal museum. Doesn't sound right, but
zoo.
It wasn't a zoo.
It's exhibit.
It was like exhibit. Yeah, it was an exhibit. Let's go with that. I got to see one once, dude. The thing was like this big.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
it's mad. It looks weird. Way bigger.
Maybe it was a baby one. I don't know.
Incubating. All right.
I do love wolves. Wolves are cool too.
So let's say
honorable mention wolves.
Honorable mention.
Wolves number one. Emerald tree boa number two. Just like for my childhood. And pandas
number
are
three. Pandas.
Third.
It's a good top three, yo. You got snakes, wolves, bears. Funniest way you've ever picked up weed.
The funniest way I've ever picked up weed.
And that could even, I got two options to answer that. It doesn't have to be like a story of you getting weed. It could even be like a container that it came in. Because when I wrote the question, I was like thinking about funniest ways like people have actually like given me weed before. And I had this dude that his parents gave him like a notebook for school, and he would just put handfuls of weed on the notebook paper, rip the page out, tape it up, and then like see you in the hallway and just like slip you the fucking paper. And it looked like just like a little paper ball. And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious that college ruled to serve me dime bags.
So you mean like the funniest way I ever like copped weed?
Either way.
Like physically picked it up.
Because There was more the second one, but the first one has better potential for stories, for video and audio sake. So
I
you could
mean,
answer either one or both. Answer both. It doesn't really matter. It's about you, Teal Child. It's about what makes you feel right tonight, man.
I mean, dude. Honestly, the ones that were most like most memorable time I ever had like popping weed was probably like.
Oh, and this is all
when I was in
allegedly,
eighth
by
grade,
the
and it
way.
was just like one what?
Said
Yeah, I
this
mean
is
we're
all
past the statute of limitations.
ain't no statues here.
I allegedly copped
Alleged.
weed in the 8th grade from this kid. I think I gave him like $20 and he gave me like one nug of weed or something. Said it was an eighth. I didn't know anything. I think, honestly, dude, I think I probably picked up a joint off the floor with my fucking feet before.
Like a roach, dad.
Yeah, like yeah. Yeah. I mean, nothing that crazy's really happened. I used to smoke a lot of weed, and
Nice.
just the nature of weed, dude. Like, I just don't remember.
Does make you kind of foggy sometimes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
What's your favorite biosphere?
Biosphere. What's your definition of a biosphere?
Like tundra, desert, temperate forest, coniferous forest.
I mean, I like my love for the emerald tree boa was, intrinsically linked to my like fascination with the rainforest. But
biosphere.
like I've never been to a fucking rainforest, dude. So like,
yet.
I mean, I do really yet exactly. I think, I mean, dude, I do like it here in the mountains of New Hampshire. To give y'all a little hint about where I'm hiding out at.
The
I'm
top of Mount Washington.
Exactly. That's why my internet keeps cutting out.
Imagine a hip hop and beat showcase that broadcasted from the top of Mount Washington worldwide.
That'd be tight.
What's a song that you wish you made?
Oh man, lots of them. I mean, dude, I'll just pull a record off the fucking floor. Dude, I wish that I made "Holding You, Loving You" by Don Blackman.
Ooh, there we go. What's a musical goal you still have?
Jesus. I would love to DJ a fucking rave, like sometime in the next year or two. Like as soon as we can DJ parties again, as soon as we can have parties again, I'd love to fucking DJ a goddamn party. That's my most like short term, like what I consider to be like reasonable goal musically. Love to just DJ a dance party, but like an official one, one with like a legit sound system and like light show and like, one that people want to like maybe pay like $20 to get into or some shit, or $10 to get into, like an all night event. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, until the sun comes up.
Yep, that would be fun.
All right, you survived the rapid fire questions. What'd you think? Not too hard.
No,
pretty easy.
I mean, yeah, honestly, the song question was like the toughest. Fortunately, I'm in my fucking lab where there's just records.
You got cheats. You got cheat sheets, Jack. All right. Well, as I said, winding down now. Is there anything you're working on that you want to shout out in a sense, or just tease the people with? You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
it's a wild time to be a creative.
For anyone that cares about like Alter G, which you know, we've got at least two of us here. There's like a potential kind of like I don't even know what to fucking call it.
It's a big moment here.
Like radio fucking pop record of Alter G. Like we have one song. We made one song. And it was like really fun to make. And it was like a really good, we tried something new in our creative process where it's like, you know, like kind of just like had Saeed like, you know, messing around on like a synth, and like he was playing just random chords, and like I caught like a nice segment and looped it up over some drums that Jake was making, and then like, you know, like had this stupid hook and like recorded like a bunch of raw takes of vocals, and then I just like kind of like chopped them all up and like formed like a decent song out of it. And but it's like it's not
exciting.
It's not like I'm playing slap bass on it. It's weird.
Ooh.
There's no guitar, but there's like 808s on it, and
it's got that thump.
Yeah. No, like it's definitely way different from round 3, so it's like definitely a different direction. See if we keep going in that direction, but it's really difficult. Or no, I'm not going to use that kind of defeatist language, but it's very rare that the stars align for us to be in the same room together these days,
especially now.
Like, right, that pandemic excluded, like we just live in different places and are going through different phases. But you know, when we get together, magic happens. That much is still true in 2021.
1,000%. Is there any Teal Child? I mean, you dropped some dope music last year. And then
dude, I'm sitting on a lot of stuff.
Pro Steppers, right? You another one you dropped last year?
Yeah, I dropped that, like a couple like single tracks that are kind of like in a, you know, from like I made a lot of like what I consider to be like you know, like banger kind of house tracks and
hell yeah,
Italo disco type tracks from like mostly in 2019, 2020, maybe some 2018, that I'm just sitting on, not doing anything with, and I should really like get off my ass and try to like release some of that stuff in 2021. So maybe this will be my maybe you'll hold me accountable, Benny P. Maybe I'll finally do that this year.
Hey, I don't put any pressure, but I will be that like if I can tell that someone wants to jump in the pool, but they're like, nah man, I just need like maybe like I don't want to do it yet, but I want to do it soon. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna say a little while ago you told me you want to jump in the pool. We got to jump in the pool now. So right. I ain't gonna push you, but I'm gonna tell you the pool's right here.
That's a good friend to have.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be pushed, but I think it's important to understand. It's a very important 2 words to understand as a functioning young adult: healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know when to fucking just be like, all right, we're all people. This is my business. I gotta just let shit be. It'll help you a lot in life, more than hurt you, I would say. Speaking of the pandemic and all the wild shit, is there anything you want to shout out that's been grounding you and kind of just keeping you in a sense more of a just chill peace?
I mean, dude, like I think, you know, we were talking a little bit before we started rolling, you know, just about like my kind of like life journey over the last year. I got sober. You know, I struggle with like drug addiction, alcoholism. I got sober, and honestly, like one of the ways that I stay sober is just through maintaining my spiritual fitness, which also has been very, I found out later on, like when that pandemic shit started up, shortly after I'd embarked upon this spiritual journey, like I, my keeping my spiritual fitness like up to code,
keeping everything
really
aligned.
Yeah, like I don't like, I'm not religious. I don't really like believe in like a like necessarily in like a god or deity or anything,
Yeah.
but like, I engage in like daily prayer and meditation. It grounds
It's
me.
good for the mind.
Yeah.
I meditate a lot too, and I have a lot of like positive statements I just like have as like backups if my mind's like stressed. I'm like, just say a couple of those real quick to yourself and breathe. That way your brain can just relax, because it's really just like an overload of senses, like emotion, like subconscious, and just like, whatever energy you're feeling. It's hard to balance, I think, being a human, because like we said, like humans can do crazy shit. We can make music. We're supernovas of
Right.
energy, and if you don't control that energy, it can be really tough sometimes. But shout out you finding some healthy habits, man. I always love to hear that.
Yeah, music's definitely like a huge grounding.
Oof, huge, man.
Entity.
Everyone I've asked pretty much has said that. Like music.
I mean, you're interviewing musicians and
Yeah.
creatives, they're definitely gonna tell you that their passion is something that grounds them for sure, and it should be. The other thing, honestly, dude, is like, even though it is like rare and you kind of have to like really put in that extra effort these days with the pandemic going on, is like finding some sense of community and connection to people however you can, in whatever way you can, like whatever feels like comfortable and safe for you. Like Zoom is fucking cool. Like, dude, it's cool to see somebody's face when you talk to them. Those types of technological fucking tools that we have for like
100%.
communicating with each other have been much utilized in this time. Just like, all of this stuff is really just about connection. That's the most grounding thing, dude. Like anytime I'm up in my head or like, having a bad time, bad trip, it's usually because I'm just stuck on myself too much. And what always helps me out is like, finding a way to connect with somebody else. And, just it makes life kind of more bearable when you can share it with somebody else.
Definitely. Just gotta have some chance to, I don't know, just see this whole existence in a perspective that's just not directly your own narrative of the day,
Right. Yeah.
I feel you. Sweet. More of a business question now. Where can people reach you online if there's any inquiries?
Not on Twitter. They can hit me up on just like slide in my DMs on Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, like, I don't really fuck with Facebook anymore. I don't have like a designated music email. Really, just Instagram.
IG.
Honestly, it's the best space to find me, at Teal Child.
At Teal. Hey, you secured the official IG. That's pretty good, man.
I know. I'm very, very pumped on that when I made that URL username.
Hell yeah. Well, it's been dope hearing your story, and man, it's been a decently long one too. It's been about 90 minutes, man. So a good span of origins and getting up to today. I love to hear that, even if it's at a more slowed down pace, that Alter G still collabing. And at this time, with the pandemic, we just gotta understand it's gotta be gentle with shit, and don't put too much expectation on shit in general, and don't especially put expectation on stuff right now.
It'll all happen when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly. We're right exactly where we need to be.
Mm-hmm. And we're already where we're going, dude. The future Like,
true that.
already happening.
Can't stop the train. If you actually really think about it, I think your senses take a millisecond of a millisecond to perceive, send the message to your brain. Then you internalize that in your mind and like see your surroundings and hear everything. So we're automatically living like one split millisecond in the past anyway. So we're automatically kind of always living in the past in a sense, in a time scale, right? Time is relative. We're getting too deep for the last question here, but I'm just throwing out some big picture ideas.
Right. Our minds are reality distortion machines at the end of the day.
There you go. Well, unless there's anything you want to, promote, say, just ask or anything at all, I got one more question for you, Teal Child.
Hit me, man.
All right. I asked the same question to everybody, just like the first one. Where will Teal Child be 1 year from now?
Jesus. Alive and well, probably somewhere in New England. I don't really have any plans to go anywhere. Hopefully wherever I am, I'm just like continuing along like incrementally increasing like state of just like good vibes.
Yeah. The positive slow climb.
Yeah, like, keeping it real while also just like, I'd like to continue to like just ease suffering and dissipate confusion and chaos like wherever I may tread in the next year. Realistically, dude, I'll probably still be here in my undisclosed location in New Hampshire, making frequent visits to the motherland.
Tremendous.
And hopefully in the fucking lab, dude.
Yeah, cook up.
Just cranking hits, dude.
I gotta get you. Oh no, I have your number. Perfect. Because I gotta say, if you're ever up here and there's an G session that somehow cooks up out of the graces of the heavens, and you're like, we need like a fourth energy in here just to sit. I bring my laptop. I got my headphones. Always have work to do, but I'm gonna pick up on the vibes. I'll feed back into the vibes with body language always, and then if my inquiry is needed, I put the headphones down and I become a part of it. But I'm really just there to soak up and give off energy.
Nice.
I love Alter G. This podcast has been sponsored by Alter G. Mostly it's sponsored by Yachty Ting.
Bon appetit.
And then Bon appetit, tremendous. The lemon chicken, is that what the one I got? That shit was...
I heard that one's good, man.
Gastronaut. All right, yo. It's been a good podcast. Go hit up. What's the best place for you? Hit the Bandcamp up and give you money tomorrow? Oh, shit. This is going to air in a week, so tomorrow is not Bandcamp Friday. But Bandcamp is probably the best place for you.
Yeah, it's a good place. Yeah.
Sweet. Hit up Teal Child's Bandcamp. I don't know if Dreamland's on there though, so might hit up Spotify for that.
I mean, dude, like, yeah, you can, hit up Spotify for the Dreamland, but all that other stuff that we mentioned.
And go cop the other stuff
on the Bandcamp.
On the Bandcamp. Alrighty, yo. Well, it's been a good interview. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you, Teal Child.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Peace out. Be safe.
Have a good one, buddy.